Hey, folks, if you have legal matters that involve firearms, then you need to call our attorney, John Dillon, especially if you have questions on red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Call our trusted firearms attorney, John Dillon. That's John Dillon, specializes in California gun laws, 760-642-7150, or just go to his website, DillonLawGP.com.
Or stay tuned. He's on the show today.
Fantastic.
It's about time.
What else you got planned for that boy?
For
the show.
Well, we got all kinds of cool. Of course, we got Joe. How you doing, Joe?
Doing great.
Did you have fun last week?
Yeah, I did have fun last week.
But
I had fun yesterday. I had fun pretty much every day.
You had to think about what you were doing last week.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Why is he asking me if I was having fun?
Did you do something fun? What did you do?
Because I
did. I was in classes all weekend. I took a basic red dot class on Friday, which was fun.
With what's his name?
Brian Hill. Yeah, the guy we had him on a couple of months ago. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I did a image-based decision drills instructor certification class with him as well, with Brian Hill.
So what did you think about the red dot class?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you.
Here's my big question. What's the difference between a red dot class and a regular class? Like, was it significantly like, oh, hey, this is eye-opening?
Yeah, for me, because
the red dot.
Because I just switched over to the red dot, 2 months ago or so, and it takes a little while to get used to it. And it's just a matter of coming up differently. You know, you'll see people that first start out with the red dot, they're coming up and they're fishing around for the dot, because their gun's not coming up in the same spot. And for me, it was interesting because I always thought, okay, I've got pretty good mechanics. My draw comes up to the same spot all the time. And then with the red dot, it's like, wow, where is this thing? And then somebody pointed out to me, well, yeah, but you got to come up to a slightly different position with the red dot because it's zeroed differently. So you have to kind of relearn that. So it's that kind of thing. It's learning how to get faster with it, transitioning from target to target and things like that, following the target, not focusing on the sight, because with the iron sights, you're used to focusing on that front sight, whereas with the red dot, you're looking past the front sight to the target. And getting up to speed on that is a little bit differently, because you were talking earlier off air about about giving a new person a red dot and how their performance shot up drastically.
Yep.
Well, yeah, if you're standing at a line in a square range and you're just shooting at a target, well, yeah, it'll do that.
Yep.
But if you're trying to do that faster and you're trying to transition, the other thing with the red dot too is the bullet will go where the dot is when you pull the trigger. The thing is, if you still have bad habits, if you flinch, if you pull to the left, the red dot's not going to help. It'll actually show you what you're doing because you'll see the red dot zip over to the left just before your bullet goes that way. So it's there's a number of things to learn. We practiced more on some speed drills and things like that. So it was fun for me. Again, because I'm new to it. So hopefully I saved myself a couple of months of figuring this stuff out, through trial and error.
You gonna take the class again, maybe?
No, I don't think I would.
You think
because
you've absorbed enough?
Yeah, it's a matter of now understanding what I'm trying to do and now actually applying
like before, you didn't
it.
have any idea.
Yeah, it was the unconscious incompetence. So
right.
I didn't know what I didn't know
there
before.
You go.
So now,
so you thought you were doing just fine.
Yeah, well, I was happy to hear him on the interview here on the radio. He said, 3 to 6 months to get comfortable with it. Because I was flailing after 2 months. So I'm thinking, okay, good. 3 to 6 months, I could live with that.
Yeah. Isn't that how normally you get lost and you say, I'm going to turn around, and it's always about a half a block from where you're supposed to turn right or
Yeah,
left.
not going to stop and ask.
Yeah, no, of course. No, that.
And what'd you like? Well, tell us about the decision-making class.
That was
that
fun,
about?
too. The image-based decision class, what they're trying to do is the idea of, if you were teaching that class is to teach people to make quick decisions or quick assessments of the situation and then make a quick first decision on it of something to do. And it's interesting, the way they first start out with it, he would throw, what they do is they give you, he's got a series of cards, and the cards have pictures on them. So
this is the same dude, Brian Hill, the red dot guy.
Yeah, it's I'm going to say Complete Combatant. Is that his company?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Brian Hill's easier to remember.
Yeah.
But you have a series of cards. So there's a card with a picture of a gun, a picture of a flashlight, a picture of a telephone, and there's like 7 cards. And then what he did at first, he would just show a picture up on the screen. You'd see maybe a guy with a baseball bat and a threatening look or something. Mm-hmm. And then he'd say, okay, hold up a card. What would you do? And they started like that, and then that kind of progressed to breaking the class up into groups and having you walk up to a table and flip over a card now that had some kind of scene on it or situation, and you had like 5 seconds to look at it and then react. And it was interesting because they would, if the telephone was one of the things you picked up, they'd go through the 911 call, and someone would play the 911 operator and ask you, okay, what did you see? And it's interesting when you look at these cards, like with me, I'd look at it and how little I saw the first time. And then after I went through the swap, because they would ask, okay, what would the guy look like? Did he have a mustache? See this and that? I don't know. I looked at it, but I didn't really see it. So getting used to seeing that kind of stuff. And then, talking about it, because there's not a one exact answer to each situation. It all depends. So if you do something, okay, why did we do it? Let's talk about it. And that's something that we talk about in class too when we teach the concealed carry stuff. Mm-hmm. It's it's the can you articulate, the CYA thing, and which I picked up from Masad Ayub's class. But if you do something, can you explain why you did that? Is that can you explain why that was the most reasonable thing to do? So it was a lot of that stuff. It was and then how to teach that class, how to talk to the students. Okay, after you go through the drill with them, how to get that information out of them, what else they could have done and stuff. So it was fun. It was interesting.
It's cool. Now, what's the follow up for that class? Or do you feel like you learned a bunch from it, or is there like a drill or something that comes with it, or is there a part 2 or follow up material? Or
no? Well, I know he's going to come out. We're going to have him out again next year. Hopefully, Dave Reed wants to have him back out, maybe do a follow up on that and some other stuff. I know from Bill and I, because Bill Deasy took the class with me as well. So we're going to see if we can incorporate some of that into the concealed carry classes. Nice. When I teach the situational awareness and the pepper spray class, I know I definitely want to use some of it in there. So
it is, because that's it's pretty common that people have. I'll be totally frank. People say dumb stuff. Like, well, if I were in that situation, I'd pull my gun or whatever. It's really, really, really rare. I mean, if you were to lay out 100 scenarios, conflicts, let's say, in public with other people, it's rare, if ever, do you pull a gun? It's so rare. And I think that's an important lesson for people to know, because, what's the one tool, if we have a CCW, what's the one tool you carry with you? Well, it's your firearm. And when you have, how does it go? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? And hopefully they're teaching you that, hey, and that sounds like that's exactly the point, is they're teaching you that, just because you're carrying around a hammer doesn't mean everything's a nail. Yeah,
and we went through some of the pepper spray exercises, too, in the class, so it was good. But I think the real valuable thing is getting people to think about it ahead of time. Because if something happens, it's going to happen really fast. You may or may not be thinking. But at least if you've gone through this kind of stuff and you thought about, okay, what would I do? Yeah. And you play those what-if games when you're out in public and stuff like that, I think that's helpful to people. So if they're really in the situation, hopefully they'll think and they'll make the right decision or the right choice.
Well, cool. All right, we got Phil here. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing great.
From Sure Shot. Excellent. Yeah. We're going to come back in the break, and we're going to do a couple segments and talk about Sure Shot. Sure Shot Firearms Simulator in Oceanside. Right. And, of course, we have Action Jackson. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Fantastic. We're going to talk to Action Jackson about the wheel he's carrying.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.